We are allowed to film, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay,
Yes,
great.
we are. Yes, we are.
Great.
Film away.
Great.
Ask away.
We just came out of the molds, and they were talking about the reshoot, the length of time for reshoots, and that there wasn't a whole lot on this particular.
No. It's interesting, isn't it? Obviously, I don't want to launch this by talking in terms of compromise, because it's a bad word. But it's tough to reshoot. We don't like to reshoot for many reasons, and the good news about that is it does encourage a very high energy, intense focus performance. Because the guys that and I always think, like, there's adrenaline in it. There's adrenaline in the performance. Now in CG, there's no adrenaline because they can just shoot it, and then they can go back and look at it and change it. Go back and look at it and change it. And that's fine. But with us, like, if especially if it's like you got a 5-day shoot, by the end, adrenaline is coursing around the body because you don't want to screw up. You really don't want to screw up. And I do believe that kind of is part of the life of the thing, I think.
And the beginning, from a concept to completion, how long did it take? I know you mentioned that earlier, but
yeah, it was like 5 weeks from 5 weeks. Not bad, eh? Really impressive. 5 years. 5 years from finding the book to now. Yeah. Which is enough. Although it's kind of normal for animation. No, most animated films, Pixar, DreamWorks, they're all the same. They tend to take that long.
Obviously, when you have a book and then you're going to make a movie out of it, things change. Can
Yeah.
you sort of talk about some of the changes from the book and certain things that you thought of that weren't in the book that you wanted to be in the movie?
Yeah. So we start with the book. This book, he says, start with this book. Which struck me as the funniest thing. Really, the funniest thing I'd read almost forever. But it doesn't have a strong story. I mean, it has a very very amusing story that wanders around. There's no shape to it at all. It's all about comedy, and I felt, I'm sure, you need a compelling shape for a movie. I think doesn't have to be doesn't have to be conventional, doesn't have to be not formulaic. Please God, not, but compelling. And so that needed that. It needed a lot more character because the crew were very token. I mean, so much so that when we started, the crew have all these stupid names, right? They're like, not stupid, but they don't have conventional names. And it was very obvious in the early days that Gideon, the writer, didn't distinguish one member of the crew from the other at all. One would be called, there'd be the pirate with green, the pirate with long legs, the pirate with a hat, and they were just you could interchange their lines completely. And it was the same in the early days of the screenplay that you'd write a line and you could just change the character's name because they weren't characters. And so that the characters definitely came out over the course of the writing. Movies, in my experience, it's surprising how little story you need as well. Our first draft would have run for like 3 hours, so we had to cut out quite a lot as we went along. The dodo was an idea that came up. I don't honestly remember how it came up, but during the course of the writing, the dodo as the story driver. That dodo idea isn't in this book, but she evolved.
Was there anything that you specifically came up with that wasn't in the book that you wanted to put in a pirate movie?
Gosh, if so, I can't remember. Well, I do remember that I was always the one pushing for the visual and the spectacular because Gideon's style is he's a master of the underplayed gag. And a master of the undercut moment, which is very, very funny in a book, but maybe not enough in the movie. So, for example, you saw earlier on, you saw attacking some ships. There's like a sea battle. Uh, Gid wouldn't write that stuff in. He wouldn't write that in. He would just cut the end of it, or he'd say, there's a ship on the battle. That was quite a good battle, wasn't it, Captain? That would be his joke, which is a funny joke, but it's not a good movie. So I was always pushing for that kind of thing, visual things.
But you can maybe get away with that joke once.
Yes, once it's very funny, but yeah, but after that, a bit annoying, I think.
Where did you stumble on the book at?
We do within the company, within Aardman, we have development meetings, and some guy brought it onto the table. Jim Campbell, I think he's called. He brought it to the table, and uh, it the question was, can we make it into a kids TV series? Was the suggestion, and so we have several departments at Aardman, and one is broadcast and features is separate, and the broadcast people have passed on it, saying we couldn't do it, so it was just lying on the table in the meeting, and I thought, let's have a look. I started to read it, and it just made me laugh. It just made me laugh a lot, and as I say, right at the start, I completely take my hat off to Sony for supporting me in it, because it's not kind of obvious, it's a bit out there, as Amy Pascal said. It's a bit out there, she said, and she's right. I was very happy that they wanted that.
Would you sort of talk about the relationship with Sony? Is it do you have to pitch them on what you guys want to do in terms of them financing stuff? Is it sort of like how?
Yeah, it's like that. We have an agreement, an arrangement, a development arrangement, so that they give us some, they finance us to find things like this, and they finance thinking time, which you need a lot of, and planning time between projects, and then there's some kind of system whereby we pitch them projects in like just a verbal form, and then if they're interested, then we push ahead, and we show a treatment, then we push ahead and show them a screenplay. It's that kind of thing. But we come up with all the ideas. It's the deal is the absolute understanding is that we have to believe in it first. That's of course, nothing else counts beyond that. So and they've been very, very receptive.
What was your biggest challenge in animation this time around, and in the narrative structure?
I must say that it has in animation. It's been very, very pleasurable, and it doesn't. It almost doesn't seem like there have been challenges. Of course, there always are challenges. It almost doesn't feel that way because everyone in the crew was so kind of up for it. They were so. There are things that could be like, for example, making the ship sail in the sea is a technical challenge, right? But for me, that was no work at all. It was so easy. I just said, make it sail in the sea, and then and they would go away for 6 months and come back with their solutions, and then choosing exactly the sea was quite a big issue. The size of the particles and the reflectivity of the surfaces and all that stuff. But then again, they were just offering me choices. They would get, do you like this? Do you like A, B, C, or D? Which one do you like? So again, very easy for me. And with the animation, it's very ambitious in terms of cast numbers. Stop frame animation, it doesn't conventionally. You don't have these big crowd scenes the whole time. Actually, it was just the same at it was just the same at DreamWorks with CG as well. Actually, the the production people would talk in terms of character feet, the number of characters you can have in shot per foot of film on average, um, and it's convenient to have lots. It's convenient to have lots of like two-handed scenes, right? We love those because then you shoot one way and there's one character in shot. You shoot the other way down the room, there's one character in shot. That's easy. But we like hardly ever did that. We'd always have there was a crew in the background cluttering up the place and then needing to be animated. So I'll just say I don't remember the challenges. I also remember a conversation very early on with the production team, and we were saying, okay, so now where are the easy scenes? And like there weren't any. Where I think that was easy and quick to shoot, and there weren't too many of those.
Was there a technical challenge that you ran across that you'd never confronted before in your work?
There were lots. I mean, but there were lots. But small things, really, nothing sensational like an amazing. Really, I mean, the captain's beard was a big issue. You could argue that the whole look of the film really derives from this line in the. You know that he was all teeth and curls, with a pleasant open face. His coat was a better cut than everybody else's, and his beard was fantastic and glossy. And that sentence there kind of led to the whole design of the film, really, because he had to have this luxuriant beard, and that was a technical challenge, and that led on to the mouth, printed out mouth thing. The fact that it's shot digitally was very liberating, really liberating. And we have in various stages of the film there are CG background characters, which is a thing I'd never done before. That was interesting. We'd never done that. It was a bit scary, but it was mostly scary for the animators, not for me, because they were all afraid that they were going to be replaced. It was interesting. I'm very happy with it. Really happy with it. Like that scene, that scene I showed you in the Royal Society. The camera looks down. The captain on stage is a puppet. The first two rows of scientists are puppets, and then everyone else in the room is CG. It looks great to me, so I'm very happy.
Did you find it was difficult to integrate the CG with the?
No, my only regret is as the production went on, it got easier and easier. And there's one scene which I didn't show you, where after that scene, after the Royal Society, they go to a kind of after-show party, and a party scene is a killer in animation. It's a really bad idea because it means you've got your foreground action, and then you've got lots of people in the background just who aren't doing anything, but they've got to be there to flesh it out. So we shot it in such a way that there weren't very many people in the background, and then right at the end of the production, it got so easy to put the background characters in that I regretted that we hadn't shot more crowd scenes, because it would have been very easy to populate a shifting party crowd in the background, but we didn't do very much.
And what I love in the movie, so there's some really great character names.
Yeah.
And like you said them in the presentation, are there any moments in the film that characters sort of say, curvaceous pirate, or you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
but
such
say
great
that.
names.
Yes, there are. Yes, there are a couple here. The pirate captain says it. I think he says everyone's name at least once. I think, just so you kind of know where you are. But he does say. He does indeed say. He's at the table. Why did she say? He said he declares. He's at the table about this size, and he declares, "I'm going to enter the Pirate of the Year." No, he says that the Pirate of the Year award is coming up, and the courageous pirate says, "Are you going to enter again?" And he says, "That I am, surprisingly courageous pirate." Which is quite hard to say. But so we did that. Yeah, we did that. Yeah. The only thing I don't think we ever do is I don't think we ever say the pirate with a scarf. I don't think we ever say that. It's a shame. We'll get in the sequel.
Did her name change? I almost feel like way back at Comic-Con she was called something else.
No, she's always been that. Always been the surprisingly commissioned. Yeah, always been that. Yeah. Yeah. There's there's a great debate. No, that's too strong a word. But we did test screenings, and a number of people said, "Oh, I thought she was going to she was going to get off with Darwin. She was going to pair off with Darwin." Which is, and they kind of and some viewers were wanting that, but no. I thought it was more fun if nobody ever notices. You know, they just they never see it. It makes me laugh.
How many projects does Aardman have going on simultaneously?
Um, it varies, of course.
Mm.
I mean, right now, um, I mean, as of when this is finished, there won't be another movie for a while. Nick Park is working on a movie for Sony, but not ready to start shooting yet. But that's in what is that development? I suppose it's still development technically. That's in development, and we have a TV series in production now, which is called Shaun the Sheep about sheep. So in fact, as soon as my pirate movie was finished, it was really kind of upsetting because all the the ship's cabin and the ship's decks and the swept out. Oh, whoosh, out go all the pirates. In come the sheep. It's kind of a shame, really. Yes, so TV series and movie in development, and there's normally some short films going on and some online stuff. So we're a broad culture.
How'd you come up with the casting, or how'd you do the casting for the film?
Well, it's a very good question.